I figured it was going to be kind of a fun bash.
We'll call the meeting to order, and we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Reed, would you mind doing a roll call for us, please?
All right. Let's see. Matt Plow.
Here.
John, how do you pronounce John's?
Elke, and here.
John Elke. You're present?
Here, yes.
John Barry.
Here.
Leanna Hahn. Not here today. David Hayward.
Here.
Right. Steve Heyer.
I am here.
Gerald Fisher.
Yes.
Rob Namowitz.
I'm here.
And Philip Reed here.
Excellent. Very good. The next item on the agenda is approve the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or
Gerald
discussion?
Fisher.
Got that, Phil.
And Rob, did Rob?
It was Jerry and then Rob.
Yes, okay.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Can I say, Mr. Clerk, did you call Matt Stoyan, our new member? Did you get
Oh, yeah,
called?
we had an introduction of new members.
Yeah, that's next.
That's next, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have no carryover business or regular business tonight. We have changed. We have some new members on the board tonight. So I thought it would make sense to just introduce ourselves and say a little bit about your background. And for those of us that have been on the board, maybe a little bit of history to it. And I will start. I'm Steve Heyer. I'm a school board member here in Clarkston, a local business owner. And I am the school board appointee, and in even years, the school representative chairs the commission, and odd years, the township representative chairs the commission. And I've been around since the start of the video center arrangement with the township, and I think it's been a very positive thing for the community. The meetings, as things have been worked out and have kind of got on autopilot, have gotten shorter and more focused on the positive outcomes that we have rather than sort of the logistical nitpicky things that come with setting an arrangement like this up. So I'm excited to welcome the new folks on board and look forward to working with you. Jared, you want to
Sure, yeah. My name is Jerry Fisher. I'm the township supervisor for another couple days. And my term comes to an end. I'll be finding the horse that Rob mentioned and riding off into the sunset very soon. And I am a legal consultant, and I've been a municipal legal consultant for many years, more years than any, not quite as long as Rob's been around, but for a long time. And I'll probably go back to doing that. My first client's going to be the township of Metamora, and we'll see what happens with that. But it's been a very enjoyable time working here and getting to know people here and seeing the world of the schools a little more closely, which, you know, at the township we don't see as closely as we'd like. But this is a nice peek into that world. Other than things that John confides in me, and so I'm going to miss participating on the board.
Very good. We have two non-voting members, which is our staff members. And so, John, you want to introduce yourself and give us a little background?
Yep. My name is John Elke. I'm the station manager, township employee. I actually started just this June, so very new to Independence Television, but we've had a very busy summer, very busy fall, and it's been really great to kind of work with this really talented staff and see what we can kind of do for this area. I've got a lot of great ideas moving forward that our staff is excited about as well, and it's kind of fun to work with people that want this to succeed so well. So I'm very much looking forward to being a part of this organization for long term. I came from Wisconsin. I originally grew up in Waterford, moved out to Wisconsin for more over a decade, was a photojournalist for about 9 years, worked in community media for 3 years after that, and that's when I kind of got pulled back home to be here. So I'm very excited to be back home and to use my talents in my hometown.
Very good. Mr. Blow.
My name is Matt Blow. I'm the media teacher for both Clarkston High School and Renaissance High School. I guess I've become one of the people that's been here now for a while. When the merger between the township and school happened about 9.5 years ago, I was one of the first hires. I was the full-time video producer for the township. Then I got to be the station manager for Independence Television, and then I transitioned over to becoming the teacher after my high school teacher retired, because I went to Clarkston as a student as well back in the day. But after my time at Clarkston High School as a student, went to Central, got a bachelor's and master's there, did some local TV there, came here, and yeah, I've kind of got to do the township part. Now I'm doing the school part, so I've got to read all those fun documents a few times now.
Awesome. Jump to Mr. Namowitz.
Well, I'm probably the legacy memory, having been here longer than even Matt. I go back to the original studio that was on Mabee Road, And I was gifted a jacket of Channel 65 by one of the older guys who had been there when the agreement was first made to make public access available through the cable company. Tribune United, I think it was at that time.
Yeah.
But I spent my career building docks, beaches, and seawalls in the lakes of Oakland County. The previous 15 years of that, I was in the rock and roll circus, playing all over the Midwest. In showbiz, I started at the age of 14 or 15. I survived all that. And at this point, I'm retired, and I'm glad to be part of the board, and hope I can be a contributing member and make certain everything goes swimmingly.
Wait, did you start, Rob, when the studio was what's next to now Renaissance High School? Were you ever involved in that
Yes.
one? That's when you
Yes.
started, right?
I started that.
But
yeah.
that no longer exists. We knocked it down.
Yes, that's gone now.
Yes, that's a long time ago.
Well, yeah, and it was very because the show that I did a half-hour live show for 6 or 8 years, whatever it was, and because it was live, it was always a lot of fun. And we would bring the Boy Scouts in, the Girl Scouts in, let them run the cameras. Of course, that time cameras were the size of a Suburban, Chevrolet Suburban, and you would have floor managers, have several people working the show, and it was always great fun. Sometimes it wasn't very good TV, but it was always great fun.
I can imagine. Awesome. Mr. Hayward.
I was born and raised in Clarkston. Been here the majority of my life. I had a year or two where I didn't live here. I work for AT&T. I've been there 30 years. Been in the mobile side the entire time. So a mobile phone. I do network repair. And before that, I was a disc jockey in broadcast radio. I was also a program director, production director. And I got my education for that through Specs Howard. So, of course, back then when we did video, it was all on reels. That's how I learned how to edit video. But we all had to produce commercials and things like that in broadcast school. So I had the opportunity to do newscasts. We did lighting. You had to do everything when you were both for radio and television. So, I mean, I've been here my whole life. I've graduated from Clarkston schools. My children have. And I just want to get more involved in the community. I'm involved in my subdivision, so I wanted to extend that. I saw this opportunity. It's interesting to me, obviously, from my background and the technical side of it. And here I am.
Awesome. Mr. Barry.
John Barry. I work for General Motors. I was born and raised in Waterford also, so was part of the media center that they have there, and really enjoyed that when I was going through high school and things like that. So it was a good time. We produced a couple different shows as students during that time, and it was pretty awesome. So, but yeah, both my kids go to Clarkston schools, and saw the opportunity as well to serve as a board member, and looking forward to see what I can contribute.
Great. Mr. Reed.
So Philip Reed, I've been a Clarkston, Independence Township resident for about 25 years. I've got 2 kids who graduated from Clarkston schools. Let's see, I was an employee of Chrysler Corporation for 36 years, retired back in 2009 actually. And this is my 2nd term on the board. So that's it.
Very good. Well, thank you for the new members coming on. Thank you for the existing members for continuing. And at any point as we go through this, feel free to ask any questions. The meeting we run, it's a public meeting. We're governed by the Open Meetings Act. We follow all the rules and procedures therein. And so I'm going to assume as citizens volunteering for this board that you do not have the intimate familiarity with those things. So feel free to ask any questions if something's a little odd or you wonder why we do something a certain way, either during the meeting or after the meeting. We're happy to make sure you know what we're doing. The next item on the agenda is the request to approve the minutes. The minutes are in the packet. We need a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll motion to approve.
Second.
Rob and then Jerry. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is a request to approve the video center meeting dates. I don't know if you've checked the meeting dates, but if we want to change the meeting dates for 2023, now is the time to do that.
And also, I think one thing we had discussed, and I don't know if it's spelled on here, our meetings traditionally have been 7 o'clock, but we were kind of curious if there was any interest in moving them more up to like 6. I don't know if there's a specific limitation that would make 6 o'clock not workable for some of the board members, but if we could get it earlier, that'd be, I think, something we'd be interested in.
Like where your head's at.
Yeah.
So we've been doing the third Wednesday.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I believe the third Wednesday originally, when I was talking with township staff, was to avoid any conflict with any other meetings that were going on at the time. I don't think that's the case anymore, but that's why it was put on the third Thursday, just so the township representative didn't have I think that was what the issue was earlier, was there was a meeting also on the second Wednesday, so they'd often go from one meeting at the township and then run over here to the video center
Got
board.
it.
So they bumped it to the third Thursday just so they didn't have to.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday, sorry, yeah. So third Wednesday,
So
so they didn't have to do that.
Can we switch from the third Wednesday?
We'd have to check with the room availability, I believe, because these dates were checked for 6 and 7 p.m.
Yep.
And they are available at both those times. I don't know about the other date.
Because I have a third, like not every month, it doesn't line up every one, but like for me, I have a school conflict that I've missed the last 2 because the rest of my board is at that meeting tonight.
Sure.
And I can't be because I'm here. So I wonder, would the second Wednesday work?
Yes,
For folks?
actually, that would be better for me.
So that would be February 8th. And
What
then,
township meeting is it? Planning commission?
Check.
April 12th, I think.
Sounds right.
Yeah,
I thought it was something else.
September
I'm not
would be
sure.
the 13th then, right?
I think so. September 13th
It would be November 8th.
and November 5th. Oh, it is
Planning
because it's the
commission.
first. So yeah, November 8th.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be better for me, actually.
Or was it DBA, sorry.
ZBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, because planning commission, I think is on Thursday.
What was
Yep.
September?
September, it would be February 8th, April 12th, September 13th, and November 8th. Does that work for everybody?
Yes.
And the key with this board is just getting a quorum, so if for whatever reason you know you can't come, the earlier you let us know, the easier that we can deal with that, because if we did end up in a scenario where 4 people couldn't come, we'd have to reschedule. And we don't want to be standing around, we don't want to make people come in and only have 3 people show up.
And also on the other side, if we ever needed to call a special meeting, there's a protocol for that as well.
Yep.
Something that just couldn't wait till the next meeting.
I noticed that on this notice that was prepared by Carrie Newbeck, that it refers to 6 p.m.,
Really?
anticipating our discussion tonight.
Yes, is 6 p.m. okay with everybody?
Yes.
I prefer that. I mean, do you want to go earlier?
I
6 is
thought
fine.
6 was fine. I wasn't sure with people's work schedules if 5:30 would be pushing a little too much for getting out of work and getting here on time. But I mean, at least from our staff standpoint, I don't see that being an issue.
5:30, okay?
Yes.
I'm in, either way.
That's good.
Yes.
Let's try 5:30.
Let's give it a swing. Let's see how it works.
I mean, it dramatically changes your evening availability. I mean,
Yes,
I could
it
still
does.
do like 3 other things after a 5:30 meeting.
Yeah.
Very true.
7 kind of blocks the whole
Whole night.
Kind of
evening.
does. Kind of does.
Right.
And I think all the citizens that normally attend would be fine with 5:30 as well.
I think they'd manage.
They certainly would.
Right.
Yeah,
Should we open it up for discussion?
it's hard to see.
All right, so we're gonna, and if there's a problem with these dates, we will fix them, and not a problem. But for now, we're gonna approve February 8th, April 12th, September 13th, and November 8th at 5:30 at this location. Can I have a motion to approve the 2023 meeting dates as amended, please?
Should we have a pending room availability?
We'll just
with that?
change it if
Okay.
it doesn't work.
Wasn't sure.
Yep. Need a motion?
I'll move.
Okay, Phil's gonna move. Need a support?
I'll support it.
Jerry will support. To approve the dates as amended. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We have dates. Item 4 is budget review. Mr. Elke, would you walk us through the current status of our budget?
Sure. So looking at the current status of the budget, this is just updated from November 3rd, kind of similar to what we had at our last meeting. This is just giving you a glimpse of how we're doing so far at this point. I can say that we will have some additional revenues coming in shortly. We didn't get them in time for the this meeting, so I couldn't put them on the budget. But our Movie in the Park series that we partner with the Clarkston Area Chamber of Commerce and Parks, Recreation, and Seniors with Independence Township concluded in October, which we'll touch base with. It's a 4-event series, and we do bring in money from that event. So we will be able to reflect the gains that we have from that. The proceeds from that event is split between the 3 organizations, so no one walks away with more or less depending on what you put in. So it's kind of just a flat rate based on what is brought in from sponsorships and then taken out of costs for advertising and such. So unfortunately, we won't have that reflected today, but just know that we'll have some additional revenues coming in, similar to what we have had in the past. I will let you know that it is lower than what we have had in the past, but it's still something coming in. So. Looking over the budget through now, it's just reflective of our expenses, and then the other purchase services, the contracted ones, that's the part-timers that we have. So when we have announcers for games or part-time employees that work for us, that's where that money comes out of. So that's kind of what we're looking at this point. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But
And just as a refresher, since we have a couple new people, our fiscal year matches the school's fiscal year. So it's July 1 through June 30th. So we are,
a few months in.
4 or 5 months in
Yeah.
at this point through the course of the budget.
The next meeting, the budget will look drastically different as we've got purchases coming up, and we'll talk about those later in the meeting. But at this point, it's kind of just been very minimal stuff.
And you can
to
see
date.
at the bottom of the original budget or amended budget column, it's the same number. That is our fund balance or fund equity or reserve fund that the video center has available.
And that has remained dramatically constant.
Yep. Any questions on the budget?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Elke.
Sure.
The next item on the agenda is a request to.
Oh, do we need to approve the budget or no?
Nope,
No.
we're
okay.
just reviewing it. The next item is to approve the purchase and installation of the school board room equipment upgrade. This is equipment for this room planned in our capital budget. And I'll entertain a motion in a second, and then I'll ask Mr. Elke to tell us what we're putting in. So, the motion language is in the packet. I don't have page numbers, but it's the page right after the budget. Why don't you make the motion?
Motion?
Yes, just read this right here.
Where it says recommended motion.
You see that at the bottom of that page?
No. Recommended motion below?
Yes.
Move to approve?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. The key purchase installation of the Clarkston Community School District boardroom equipment upgrade from Key Code Media with the amount not to exceed $30,000 from the budget line, equipment over $5,000.
Perfect. We need a second.
Second.
All right, Mr. Barry moved. Mr. Fisher seconded. All right, Mr. Elke, what are we putting in?
Sure. So this was originally slated in our capital improvement project 5-year plan. It was slated for actually next year. But unfortunately, we had a camera that died, and we were not able to replace. So we decided to move the project up to this year.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, yeah.
Was this an older piece of equipment that
This,
died?
yep, this is, yeah, the camera is an older piece of equipment. It's actually this one over here on the mounted wall, so we're not getting a signal from that camera back to our system currently. So we only have a 2-camera system in this boardroom, which is manageable, but it makes it difficult to kind of operate. So once that did die and we weren't able to replace it with something that we had in-house, or you call these things, in certain models of these cameras, it's not worth replacing from a cost standpoint.
Sure.
So we decided to move this project up a year and shift around a few things in our improvement project to accommodate that. We went with, we had multiple quotes for this project. After talking with the staff, we decided to go with Key Code Media. They're a preferred vendor of ours. Their quote came in lower than the other quote that we received. Looking at what we have, is we would be able to replace the TriCast unit that Matt's operating right now in the back, along with a switcher. It would include 3 new cameras to be mounted on the wall. The quote here also includes technical services for Key Code Media to come out and install the cameras, along with new wiring to accommodate the new cameras, because that would be extremely helpful. They're estimating about a 2-day work project for this. So once this gets approved, we then can work on scheduling with the school district as far as making that possible. The big thing that you'll kind of want to take note of on this quote, and why we kind of, I'd say got a little lucky of pushing it up to this year, is we actually are going to get an $800 trade-in value with the equipment that we're using currently. The reason why that's important for this year is that trade-in value diminishes after 2022. So if we don't act on it this year, we don't get that $800 off essentially on this project. We essentially will just keep that equipment and recycle it at the appropriate time in the appropriate way. So it's actually beneficial that we kind of stumbled into this and chose to do it this year, because $800 off, certainly, it's where it's not a lot from a $25,000 bill, it's certainly helpful. So looking at that, this is a whole new system. It brings our operating system into HD, which is great, and hopefully will last us a very long time. The equipment that we'll be purchasing is stuff that our staff is already comfortable with. We use it, in other situations. So this is, in my opinion, a good win for Independence Township moving forward, especially with this boardroom. We don't just do school board meetings in here. We do community events and things like that. So having this upgrade is going to be beneficial to us in the long run. But if you have any questions as far as the quote goes, or items and stuff like that, I'd certainly answer them to the best of my ability.
Any questions or discussion?
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
One, how old is the current equipment that we have?
It's a good question.
I want to say this got installed towards the beginning of the merger, so I want to say, if I'm correct in that, that would make it about 9-ish years, give or take.
Okay, and how long do you expect the new equipment to last?
That's a really good question. Typically, I would say no longer than 10 years is where we'd probably put that at, and that's being generous, I'd say.
I would say at least 5.
At least 5 is where you'd want it to be. Like,
Right.
I'd say, like, if we're doing everything correctly, and not to get it twisted, this room doesn't get a high use situation
Sure.
where this.
That is the one nice benefit. Is it's not like these cameras are running 24/7.
So is there a warranty with it for any particular?
I don't know if there's a warranty or not. I'll have to look into that to see if there is one, but it's something we can look into. Yeah.
I mean, I do understand that, obviously technology goes very, very quickly. Probably double. So I'm just out of curiosity, what your expectation is for the
Sure, I'd
longevity
say
of this.
usually with like cameras and that equipment, we usually put it at a 3-year life cycle, which is nice. Anything like this, I hope to at least get 5 years out of it. If we can get 10, that'd be fantastic. But it's similar to what we've gotten out of the system right now. Like it's been good for a while, but it's time. So
Okay. And then the cameras are going to be HDs at 4K, 1080p. I mean, what, just out of curiosity. So, obviously as we go, I'm just asking because
Sure.
I'm just curious, really. I just want to know.
Yeah.
Because, here we are, so like, are the cameras going to be able to be, if we have to upgrade the cameras, we can keep the controllers and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
it's-
the
that's-
recording equipment?
That's a great question. At this time, I know they're only HD. I think we had the option for 4K, and we chose not to go with 4K. They are more expensive, and for what we're doing in this room, we don't need 4K at this point, especially with the broadcast that we're doing primarily to cable, where it's downgraded from HD to SD.
Yeah.
So, given what the use is for these cameras, we decided to just go with high definition rather
Sure.
than 4K.
So you're limited on the live broadcast. Do you
Correct.
did you, when you put it on YouTube or whatever, do you put the HD version on?
Yep, yep.
So,
So,
okay.
the broadcast that is put on YouTube and everything like that, we broadcast directly to YouTube. So
Correct.
anything that we broadcast in this room live goes right to YouTube. So it's the same quality.
But it's okay. What is it? It's saved at standard definition too, or
correct. Here
okay.
it is in this location.
Today,
Yeah.
it's
Right,
standard
got it.
Yep.
definition.
Okay.
Yep.
In the
So
future,
Yep.
it will be high definition.
Correct.
Exchange.
Thank you.
no problem. Thank you. Thank you for the questions.
Any other questions or discussion?
Steve, I do remember, I forget, there's a state law or something that a certain amount over the school board has
Yes.
to approve it. What is that amount?
I can't tell you, but this hits it.
I was going to say, I assume this is over, so for our timetable, we'll have to make sure we work with you to get it on the school board as soon as
Yep.
possible so we can get that $800 rebate.
Yep, absolutely.
So what, if I can, what are the budget implications to this?
Sure. So looking at the, because we did just look at the budget, we can look
Yeah.
at, if we want to go back to that page real quick. So this would be coming over, or in the, obviously over 5,000 range.
Yeah.
Looking at the budget, and this is kind of one of the primary reasons we went with Key Code, we still do have $32,000 in that budget line that we haven't touched yet this year. So $25,000 still gives us a little bit of wiggle room in case anything does happen, or if we have another smaller project kind of pop up that we have that budget room to do so. That does also include $25,000 in the lower than $5,000 purchase. So looking at it, this is kind of exactly what that budget line's for. So it falls right in line with what we're hoping to accomplish.
So it's not gonna stop you from doing anything else that you were otherwise gonna do?
Nope, and that's one of the best things about the capital improvement project plan that was put together. It helps us kind of get ready for these big projects, and this is one we were kind of ready for. So the good thing is it was priced exactly where we needed it to, which was nice. We still have some room in case anything does pop up that we need to do, but it won't put us out in any projects
Good.
or affect our budget negatively in any way.
Great.
Any other questions or discussion?
I'm curious about the install.
Yes.
You said it was going to be a 2-day install,
That's what they estimated at this time, yeah.
so it's $165 an hour or so?
Roughly.
Two techs for that, or?
I believe they have, I'm not sure if it's 2 techs for 2 days or 1 tech for 2 days, but they did say it was going to be a 2-day project, and what they quoted out this price is the labor that it would be, including and the $300 is just the wiring that would be for the installation.
I looked at a couple of sites, the trade-in for these units is fair price. They're giving you fair value for that, you know. for
Yep,
that.
we had, at least on the other quote as well, that was what we got from a trade-in value too, so that came out even across the board.
So the equipment is brand new, it's not open box stuff,
Correct, yep.
brand new. And the price on that new equipment is very competitive
Yep.
from all the other prices I could find on the internet. The total care remote access support, is that something you're gonna take advantage of?
Yes, I very much am in favor of having that for at least the first year with products such as these, just in case anything does happen, that we have that support to kind of walk us through any hiccups that might happen. Having been through a few different installations like this in the past, it is, in my opinion, very necessary to have something like that. I can't tell you how many times, not many times, but when you buy new equipment and you're going through a meeting, you don't get any problems until you start to go live within 2 minutes of your broadcast.
All right.
So it's in my opinion really great to have on hand, especially with our staff when and I know I said we're familiar with the product, and we are, but it's still nice to have just in case something's a little different from how everything's wired in this room. So
It says they're going to install a lightweight utility on all purchased computers. What is a lightweight utility?
I don't know. It's a good question. I can get back to you on that. Look
It's
into
under
it.
30-day, the page that, what is this, page 4 or 5, 30-day key code total care bronze.
So what I'm guessing, and I'm just guessing, knowing of that lightweight utility is something that they would be able to, that would be on our computers, I'm guessing?
Or install on all
yeah.
purchased
The
computers.
software.
A software, basically, software to
Yeah, so
operate their equipment, or maybe they can log in remotely to look at what we're doing.
Sure.
Yes, that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
At the discretion of the facility staff, it will be
Yep.
done. So if you choose it, and then they
Well,
can-
that says right there, yeah, I just
yeah,
didn't read
and
that.
you
Yeah, it
log
says
in to see what the
engineer-
operator's
yeah.
doing. That's pretty nifty.
Yeah, it is. I've had experiences where we've had people kind of remote into our, not in this instance, but my past employee, where we've had tech support log in directly to our unit while we were during a meeting to kind of fix a bug or an issue, and it was seamless, you know? So it makes it very easy to do that stuff, and it's very nice to have that capability on hand.
Those are pretty much all my questions. One of the main reasons that I stayed with the board was to make certain that the school board meetings were visually legible. I don't know if that's the way to say it, because they weren't, and that they would be better is a great thing.
Well, there we go. Hopefully this accomplishes your goal. I think it will.
Did you want to keep an eye on anybody in particular?
Only everyone in particular.
I don't know if this makes the school board meetings any more watchable.
Yeah.
They might be more legible. I don't
Well,
know.
then that's the important thing.
Paint only dries and
It's right. That's right. For a while there was a tremendous amount of interest, and you know, it's comes and goes. But we had a lot of spectators. I judge by how many text messages I get, who's watching live at home, and what kind of things we're doing. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes in HD. Any other questions or discussion?
I have one more, well, maybe possibly two more questions, sorry.
Sure. No, don't be sorry.
I figure I'll use up my time now. Next meeting, I won't say anything. But the question is regarding the warranty, and I stated on the paperwork that you have a 30-day warranty. Is that for the installation, and is which I'm guessing it's for the installation, and the equipment actually has a longer
I can
warranty?
check to see if it's the installation. I know in some instances when you have the installation like this, there usually is a grace period in case anything does go wrong that they can
Yeah.
come back and fix it.
Yeah,
But I can confirm that just to make sure.
It mentions in here that we get the manufacturer's warranty.
Okay,
and
I'm
that's
sorry,
the
yeah, I
30
didn't-
days on the.
I just saw the 30 days, which I'm
Yep.
usually goes by the installation, so, yep, okay. I'm sorry, I missed that, that's
I think
okay.
it's a difference between what key code is covering us for
Yeah.
30 days for everything, and then manufacturer, whatever the standard on the equipment is,
Okay,
picks up after that.
thank you.
And it's a Troy company. So it's a local, you get a local vendor here.
Yep.
Yeah, we've used
them
Key Code a
before.
few times,
Yeah.
and we've had positive experiences with them, so
Yep.
we're happy to work with them again.
Absolutely. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
all right.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We've come to the highlight of our meeting.
Yeah.
The high quality production of the production update. Mr. Elke is going to fill us in on what's been going on in the video center here in the last couple months.
Thank you very much for your time and opportunity to highlight our staff with this presentation. This is very similar to what we saw at our last meeting, but for those that weren't here, I'll just give you kind of a quick rundown. So this quarterly update is something that I'd like to implement. It's really just a way to involve the board in what our staff is doing on a day-to-day basis, from events to meetings to sporting events to everything in between, just so you're involved and kind of see everything that we get to do. So this is our quarterly update. The statistics are taken and everything that's being presented is from our last meeting in September to early November. So it's not as long as our last one from a period duration, but we will still have some fun. So since our last meeting, Independence Television has created over 47 programs in 57 days. The programs consisted of meetings, promotional videos, township videos, high school sports, candidate forums, educational seminars, election discussions, and coverage of community events. With our broadcasts on cable, and this is Matt Legato who's running our meeting. I give he and Hannah great credit for this one. On Halloween, we broadcasted Night of the Living Dead at midnight. The movie is a public domain movie, so that was kind of a fun, spooky way to engage our viewers, but also have appointment viewing on cable for something that was very themed. I give them 1,000% credit on putting this together the day of. Matt had kind of kicked this idea around a while, but he asked if he could move forward with it on Halloween. I said, go for it. This sounds like a great idea. We promoted it on social media. People liked, shared the images and everything like that. So it looked like it had a good response as far as a unique way to engage our cable viewers. From a live standpoint, Independence Television and the 6th Hour PM TV production class led by Matt Blow executed a live broadcast of the School Board Candidate Forum. This was live on YouTube and cable at the same time. We were actually kind of approached to do this last minute, and I give the team that put it together a lot of credit because they did a tremendous job getting this out there. It was a very important issue to our community, and they did a great job of getting that together in short notice and making it look like they had months to plan for it. So
it was great because I was in California at the time and I couldn't be there and I wanted to watch, and it was a great way to absorb it. That's
exactly why we wanted to do stuff like that. So
And I've heard a couple people say like, oh, it's great to have the students there, kind of get them involved. I'm like, this is the kind of stuff we do. We try to highlight these community events, and it's always fun to hear the little takeaways. This is, oh, this person, I liked how they talked. Oh, that person said this, and it's like, hey, if you're 18, get out and vote, and if you're not, show your parents the community forum,
Right.
or the candidate forum, rather.
Absolutely.
Online, we gained 38 subscribers to Independence Television's YouTube page from September until November 3rd. That's 68% of our viewers. This is kind of a fun fact, are from the United States. The rest are from Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia. They round out our top audiences
What's the
currently.
total number of subscribers? Do you have any idea?
We are at, I think, 1,000, because last meeting we just surpassed 1,000, so I think we're at 1,070 at this point, just for Independence Television. We also manage Independence Township's YouTube page, where our government meetings go. That's probably about 68 subscribers.
68?
68, yeah, compared to the 1,068 on the other one. But we also run the Clarkston Community Schools, and that's where our live school board meetings go, and then also high school sports. And I believe that's at 1,100. I could be wrong.
Could be. We
but
also run the Clarkston High School announcement page,
Correct.
which I know
Yep.
gets a lot of views because they watch it as part of their class.
Yeah. Yep. So we have multiple YouTube pages that we manage, but from the three main ones that we do, we've seen increases over the past little bit. But this just reflects Independence Television, where a lot of our community events go, and productions that we do that are specific to the community. Anything government related or school related goes to the Clarkston Community Schools page or Independence Township page. So this is Hunter. We just hired him this week, actually, or no, 2 weeks ago. So in September, not September, it was November, sorry, that's a typo. But in November, we hired Hunter to fill our production assistant position. Hunter graduated from CMU, like everybody else on our staff, and is starting his career in broadcasting.
Fire up chips.
All right.
The great thing about Hunter and a few of our other part-time positions is Hunter went through the media program at Clarkston High School and interned for Independence Television in 2021. I say that because it's great to see the kids that go through the media program in Clarkston continue their education in media, but also that Independence Television is able to be a stepping stone for their career, so they can learn the appropriate skills moving forward to get them a great step in the right direction for their career. Not only is Hunter a production assistant for us, he's working part-time. His first video is actually going to set to premiere on our social media pages on November 21st. I believe it's the Monday before Thanksgiving, for the Community Impact Weekend that he shot, produced, and edited all himself. But he also works at Channel 7 in Detroit on the weekends. So he's kind of stretched across multiple platforms, but we're happy that someone that went through the program, interned with us, and is now working with us part-time is taking a step in the right direction. This is exactly what the program was designed to do, and we're starting to see success stories like this. So
Did
if
your-
you see him
did-
around, make sure you say
John?
hi. Yes.
Did your predecessor, Stefan, did he bring him down to the Channel 7?
Yep. Yeah. So Stefan, who is my predecessor, works at Channel 7. So he
Great.
contacted Stefan as well, and Stefan was able to get him a job in that area, and he also contacted us back at ITV,
Nice.
and we were able to get him a job as well. We had an opening vacated by someone that went back to school, who also went through the program, but he's graduating this year in college. So it's not only from an ITV standpoint, but the people that have left ITV like Stefan are also still very much involved in this program. So it's really great to see, in my opinion. Productions. So this was a big one that we kind of did this year. So Community Media Day is a national day. It's October 20th. So this year we kind of decided to put something together, Matt Legato and myself. We created 6 videos for Community Media Day. If you don't know what that is, I'll just kind of give you a brief explanation. It celebrates community media stations across the nation. It's kind of self-explanatory, but to kind of celebrate this, we interviewed 6 organizations about why independence television is important to them and how ITV has impacted them or their organizations. The videos were published across our social media channels, platforms, and YouTube throughout the day. So we kind of staggered published them throughout the day. So it wasn't all at once. It was kind of, I believe every 2 hours we had a new video published from 8 a.m. till about 6 p.m. On social media. So the organizations that were reflected were from government, school, nonprofits, and we had a former student, Michael, who's our announcer, kind of up at the top. So we have Parks and Rec, we have Jose, who did a show with us, we have Sean Ryan, the superintendent for the schools, Sissy Phillips with the library, and then down at the bottom, Chelsea with the Clarkston Family Farm. Views on these, we had 138 on YouTube collectively, with an additional 996 on our Facebook page collectively. So it was just a great opportunity. I know it's kind of weird to pat yourself on the back, but just to, I guess, show the community the importance and what we can do for different organizations, not only from an educational standpoint, government standpoint, business standpoint, nonprofit standpoint, just everything that we can kind of highlight for people in this area and how we've helped these people out in their organizations. So it was a nice opportunity to kind of see that and see how ITV has kind of spanned across the community in these ways. Yes?
Sorry to interrupt again.
No.
How did anybody know that this was on so that they could tune in and...
Sure, that's a good question. So what we did is, that was kind of with the staggering post point. We posted one early in the morning, and then included in that post was check back for more stories throughout the day. So we kind of did some, it was just a social media campaign at this point to do, and we did a little bit on YouTube, not much.
Okay.
It's actually still on our YouTube page as a featured playlist. The first playlist that's up there is how ITV, or working with ITV, and you can kind of click through the interviews as far as rewatching them. So this was something that we kind of tried a different social media approach, I guess, with these videos. Like I said, it was strictly a social campaign, and tried something new with this one.
Thank you.
No problem. Community events. This was kind of fun. In October, we were able to assist with the library's Trunk or Treat event. Not only did we create a wonderful video done by Matt, who's in the back, but Matt also served as a judge for the event, which we have to talk about because we did not place, because we decorated our van as well for the event and passed out candy. That was a great way to just engage with the community. We had our truck out there decorated. Matt and I, the day of, spent the day just going through the studio and seeing what we could grab to decorate our van. It was really great. We found an old smoke machine, some ribbons, flashing lights and stuff like that. It actually pulled together kind of nice, which was a lot of fun. We took the high
holiday
school-
lights parade is coming up.
Yep, December 10th.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
We took the high school mascot that we have in-house, and we put an ITV shirt on him to make it look like a werewolf, and kind of ripped it up a little bit. So we had our ITV logo kind of out and about, and people loved seeing Wolfie at the event. So it was a great community success, and just a way for ITV to get out in front of the community and
the board
see people.
would be manning the float, right?
You never know.
Well, for the Holiday Lights Parade last year, I think me and a couple staff members walked in the parade. We just have a little banner, and then some of the other staff and students are actually recording and live streaming.
Great.
So I hope that we'll do that again this year. But if the board wants us to do something a little bit bigger, that's absolutely something we could discuss.
Other events that you see that we've covered in that time include Taste of Clarkston, Game for a Cure promo, Homecoming Pep Rally, the Mom to Mom sale, Friendly Forest, Bucks for Buses, ribbon cutting for the Chamber, the Independence Township Fire Department open house, and we had a few more. But all these events, if you have not seen them, can be found on our Facebook page and our Independence Television YouTube page. So this is kind of, I already touched base on this with community events, just continuing these, but in addition, our staff broadcasted live multiple community events ranging from the candidate forums, educational seminars, and a town hall event related to the election, the public transit town hall meeting that we got to do. So not only from community events and creating nice promo videos, but also live broadcasts of a lot of election related items and educational seminars. So it was kind of nice to be involved in that community. So not only creating these fun events and everything like that, but providing great information for people in a time hopefully of need. So government videos. So this has kind of been a goal of mine to expand upon my role a little bit. So beginning in September, we partnered with multiple departments with Independence Township to help create videos for their needs. The videos range from studio discussion here with the master plan discussion that we did to a PSA on PFAS, and then also a promotional video for the Parks, Recreation, and Seniors Department that was used during a meeting. I only bring this to the board's attention because doing these videos for Independence Township, I know it's our job, but it helps demonstrate our worth to the government officials, and helps the government save money by keeping these projects done in-house. I think that's one of the big things to kind of highlight, especially with this PFAS PSA. Speaking with the Department of Public Works, they had kind of budgeted out money to create one. And so when they approached me, they asked, well, how much is this going to cost? And I said, nothing. Like, this is what we're here for. We're here to help out. So they were able to take that money that was budgeted for a PSA in their project and put it elsewhere in their project to use. So where that money is not going to show up in our budget line as additional revenue coming in, we were able to help another department save money for their project. So instances like this is stuff that I really like to do, and am happy to see this kind of take off. So along with these, I'd say kind of educational pieces, we also did do events with the fire department, and Parks, Recreation, and Seniors, of course, is one of our top go-getters from an event standpoint. So that was nice. Sports. Always a great one. In September and October, we broadcasted live 6 sporting events for Clarkston Community Schools. It's averaged out to about 1 event per week, like Matt was saying. We did powder puff football, soccer, volleyball, and football. Along with sports, our 6th PM television production class broadcasted out live the Homecoming Pep Rally, which was a lot of fun. The Pep Rally actually had more views on our YouTube page than the powder puff football game. So it was kind of fun to see something during the day garner so much attention. And I don't know if any of you got a chance to watch it, but our students weren't exactly put in the best situation because the gym was completely black. They turned all the lights off to do a glow situation, and from a camera perspective, that's not really easy to do from a broadcast standpoint. So again, a lot of credit goes to the students and the staff for doing a job that's a good job under not ideal circumstances, and that's part of the learning experience. So to be able to put that together during school and stuff like that was a great success to see. Looking at views, the Oxford-Clarkston football game was our highest viewed program with over 1,000 views during that time. From a social media standpoint, social media has been steadily growing the last few months. Social media is run by Hannah Gray, our social media coordinator. Our Facebook post reach is up 96% from September to November, and engagement is up 119%, which is great in the last 90 days. Instagram also saw a 30% post engagement increase in the last 90 days. So these are just a little statistics about the 3 of our main ones that we use with Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook, our page views are up 159% since our last meeting, which is phenomenal. Instagram, our page views are up 32%, and then engagement with Twitter is only up 2.5%, but I'd say that's probably our least used platform amongst the three. But it's still good to see that we're getting some engagement from that. So I always say that there's different audiences on each of these platforms. It's hard to kind of read too much into these numbers, but as long as we're doing an adequate job of utilizing these three, I think that's the important thing to see. So that's our presentation. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
You know I have a question.
Yes.
Probably 2 or 3, I don't know. What do you do currently to drive traffic to the YouTube channel and Facebook?
To drive traffic to YouTube, that's something that we've actually tried to actively increase is to promote our live events while they're going on and
Okay.
before they're happening. So especially with sports, that's a big one that we promote it on. Twitter's usually a big one for that because a lot of the athletic programs are on Twitter and stuff like that. It's easier to reach them. But we've been doing a better job of kind of putting our links out there when they're going live. So, and that's the YouTube links on our social media channels. So hopefully one is driving to another in that instance. But that's something that we've recognized and wanted to kind of improve doing is when we have these great live events is to make sure people know that we're there rather than just a notification popping up on YouTube that we went live.
So if I was at a live event, we'll say I was at the trick-or-treating event that you had, and I was there with my child, how would I know that it was live or somebody was there? Or I don't remember if you said that one was live or not, but
Oh, no,
you know, how would I know?
Sure. That's a great question. That we don't have particularly a great notification of watch, a banner or anything like that we put on our outside our equipment while we're broadcasting.
It really depends on whose event it is. So like if the schools are running an event,
Sure.
and we would say, hey, this event, you could watch it, at this, independencetv.com or the YouTube channel or wherever else. Like it would be on the event promotional materials or event recap materials.
So do you
depending
guys
on
do
who's
you have
running it.
do you have a vehicle there or something or like that presence?
Yeah,
or-
most of the time when we go out, well, I shouldn't say most of the time. Some of the times we do have our station van that we take out that has advertising on it. It's not much. It's very small on the van, but we do have promotion. Usually when we're out at events, we have our promotional gear on as well, so people can quickly identify that we're with Independence Television.
Could you do something like maybe have a QR code that somebody could scan right
Oh.
there and then it would direct them right
Sure,
to that
yeah, we could definitely
broadcast?
try that.
Something like
Yeah.
that would help drive traffic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think we've been also trying to make sure we tag the various organizations as well. So if it's like a Clarkston event, we'll try to tag Clarkston Community Schools so they can also
Sure.
share it out on their social media and things like that.
Okay.
So, that's another event-dependent one, but that's another thing we try to do.
We did also, this was a good success for us on social media this year, is Clarkston Athletics did recognize us as a reliable source to watch any and all sporting events at Clarkston. I know there's some questions as far as streaming goes, so we did get a nice nod out that way as far as a reliable source and our information to get shared out there. It was kind of tongue-in-cheek at first, but it actually turned out to be very useful. So it was nice that not only did we've gotten, like Matt said, we've gotten a lot better of tagging different organizations in our posts so that those posts get out to different audiences in that area.
Okay, yeah, because I just thought like maybe if you had a QR, something that, because I know I see people scanning QR codes all the time, obviously.
Sure, yeah. They're really big
And-
right now.
Right, and if you just, boom, you scan it on your phone and, you already know that you're live or you can watch it live or wherever it's going or maybe later if you're going to put it up later.
No, that's
So
a
I'll-
great
I'll have
idea.
to check in one of our closets because I think for games at one point we did have some kind of banner that could be kind of unrolled or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it had a QR code on it or not, but that was really for only sporting events. But we might have that buried somewhere. It might just be a matter of unearthing it again.
Okay. All right, and then my other question is what sports do you guys currently cover besides football at the high school?
Sure. So it kind of varies, and Matt will be able to kind of discuss this a little bit more because we kind of are reliant on the schedule and then also student availability. So we
Okay.
kind of look at what during the fall it's football, whatever home game we can. That'll be the main one. This past fall we did do volleyball, girls swimming. I believe that was it for fall, and then we're going to be starting up our winter coverage with basketball.
Yeah, once we're back from Thanksgiving break, boys and girls basketball hits. I think boys swimming also starts around now. We've tried to do some baseball in the past. So what I really do is I simply look at the sporting event. I take the sports calendar and say, show me all the varsity sports. And then you eliminate some that we can't really feasibly do, like bowling and stuff like that. It's a little tougher for us. And then I try to pick a game or two each week. I pose it to my advanced class PMTV and go, hey, we could do a game this day or this day. And then sometimes they lean one day, or sometimes there's only one option, so we pick that. These last couple weeks, there hasn't been a lot of home events that we could record, so we've kind of had a lull recently. But I think literally when we get back from Thanksgiving, I think it's like Tuesday or Wednesday or some basketball games. So we try to cover one event a week. I try to jump around so we can kind of show every sport a little bit of love. That being said, football obviously in the fall kind of gets priority, and then kind of basketball is probably our second most popular, both boys and girls. And some of that just comes down to scheduling as well. Sometimes we might want to do a Monday night game or a Tuesday night game, but if the staff already has 3 meetings that night or another meeting that night, we go, well, even if we wanted to, we can't that week. Maybe we can get it the following. So sometimes it just comes down to scheduling.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the extensive slides and update. We appreciate that. I don't know how you're going to keep kicking it up a notch at every meeting, but I think that's the direction we're going. The next item on the agenda is public comment. Do any members of the audience who'd like to address the board tonight?
One at a time.
Seeing none, the next item on the list is board member comments.
Got one, if that's all right.
You may.
Sure. Just wanted to thank Jerry for serving on the ITV board, and being a champion for our department. It means a lot to me to have support in the leadership role from the township, and it means a lot to our department as well. I just wanted to say thank you, and look forward to whatever adventures hold for you next. So thank you so much for your service to Independence Television.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thanks for stealing my thunder there.
Sorry.
Jerry, it was great working with you the last couple of years and having a great collaborative relationship with the township and schools. I mean, it hasn't always been that way, and I think you've maintained and strengthened that relationship. And really appreciated getting to know you, and thanks for your
Great.
service on this board and service to our community in general. And
Thank you.
wish you the best in
Thank
your future.
And everything you said goes back to you and to the rest of the board.
Thank you very much. Very good. And the last item on the agenda is adjournment. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Jerry moves.
I'll second.
John seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.